So here's what you have to do. Here's the login process. So I'm gonna log on with it. These captions are horrible, by the way. Alright, so once you're logged on, the process we go through is you don't want to select any machines because you don't want to run on a specific machine. So we don't want to run a machine. We just basically want to run an application. Right? So take this off. So we want a new. Okay, so we got a new graph. Now, if you take a look, there's some updates available. We don't care about that, but take a look. Basically, you've got a workspace, and we'll kind of string this up a little bit. So have a little more space there. This panel goes in and out. Now, the workspace is basically the environment where you get to drag an entity. These entities are called transforms. So you have an entity, and then you run a transform on it. So an entity can be a thing like a website, a DNS name, a domain name, a record, a Facebook object, a Facebook person, and so forth. So just to start it off, just to show you what you can do with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a domain. So take the domain and drag and drop it. Okay? Now, that's an entity. Now, an entity has certain properties associated with it. I can double click on the name and change it, ultimate knowledge. What we want to do is we want to take this entity and we want to be able to find out as many properties as possible. We want to know maybe somebody's sending us some type of suspicious email, or they sit there trying to break into our site, or they're posting malicious content about us, or for some reason I want to find out who owns this. So what I can do is I got ultimate knowledge set up as the domain, and if I right click, I can run two different things. There's a thing called a transform, and what a transform is it's a query. It's really just a group of queries. They're predetermined. They've already been created for you. You can create your own. It's not very hard. I think the language is C#. But you can run that, or you can run a machine. Now, a machine basically says, I want to run something consistently. I want to run it constantly in the background. Anytime there's a flag or anytime something happens that's of interest to me, I want it to automatically tell me. So it's a background process. Now, it runs on Maltego servers. Now, what we can do is we can set up our own servers. So we want to run this stuff in-house. So let's say we want to run a transform. Now, if I run a transform, I can basically find out certain information. I can find out everything. I can find out just the DNS names, DNS information. I can find the domain owner detail. I can find the email address. I can find files and documents from the domain. And then I got some other transforms. So let's find DNS information. I want to find out their name server, their MX server, some real interesting information. So we're going to say run transform, DNS, and then all in this set. Now it's going to run out. It's going to start running this stuff. Now, this I just kind of use my mouse to make it smaller. And I got some information. Now let's kind of drill down on it and see what we got. I've got blog.ultimateknowledge.com. I've got ultimateknowledge.com. I've got wildcard in use. And I've got mail. Now let's see who's hosting their mail server. So I click on it, I right click, say run transform, and I'm going to say let's find out the IP address. We're going to resolve its IP address. Now what it's going to do is it's going to try to find the IP address of that particular mail.ultimateknowledge.com, and it did. Now I'm going to try to find out some more information about it. So I can do all transforms, like the geolocation and so forth. I can also find out who owns it. So IP owner detail, email addresses, and so forth. So let's give that a whirl. Let's see who actually owns this thing. Okay, so now it's going to run that. And now I see that Ultimate Knowledge, their mail server, the person that owns that IP address, looks like it's Microsoft. So now I know that Microsoft actually supports or runs their mail service. So in that situation, hacking might be a lot tougher job for me to hack into Microsoft than it is to try to hack into a private company. Because Microsoft's probably got a few more engineers than we have as far as protecting that kind of stuff. Now that's the first search that you can do. Now, we're not going to save it, close it off, and now we're going to do another one. So new graph, and let's try. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do. Here's some interesting stuff. You go down to personal. You can say, I want to find a phrase, a key phrase. Now, I used key phrase when I was looking for the word deploy, but we can look for social media security professional. Let's see if it's floating around there on the internet. Maybe somebody's blogging about it. Who knows? Well, the good thing is we're not at a shortage for this activity. So let's see. Let's kind of see. Some people posting some stuff on Facebook. Benefits and risks. We got Ohio State in there is doing something with us. Announcement of professional something. We got Secure Ninjas actually supporting our class. They're one of our social media authorized training centers. So forth. So we can drill down on some of these things. We can also create a brand new graph. Try something different. We're going to do a person. Let's see if we find anything on me. Oh, and there's a funny thing. It found my Facebook page. That's me. So now I can drill down on that. And I can say to person from profile. Accept it. Let's see what we got here. And it finds me. Now I can run another transform. Take that information and try to find telephone number. It's going to look for, try to find everything that has to do with me, that person. Now we can search through and see if my telephone number's in there anywhere. Anyway, so I think you get the idea as far as what you can do with this. And they'll give you some things to play around with. Alright? I'm curious as to what it found on me. Alright. Alright, dude.